Hello, ladies. You're welcome to Cameron Phoebe on CRTV. Now, please introduce yourselves and where you're speaking from.
Hello, patients. I'm Deborah Ballard, and I'm coming to you from beautiful Johannesburg, South Africa.
Good morning, patients. My name is Jennifer Hawkins, and I'm coming to you from Minneapolis, Minnesota, in the United States of America.
Hello. My name is Nozibele Masela. Thank you very much for having me.
Hello, patients. Yes, I am Victorine. Thank you for having me on the show. I am corresponding with you right now from Johannesburg, where I live with my family.
First off, I'm going to start with you, Victorine. I just want to find out why you chose to do an anthology on stories for and by women.
Yes, the idea of an anthology came about during lockdown. South Africa had been going in and out of lockdown. Prior to that, I'm not sure if you and the viewers know that I am a parenting coach. So prior to the in and out of lockdown, when we had the first phase of lockdown, I had so many parents calling me and telling me about the challenges that they are currently going through in their endeavor to stay home with their children. Because for many of these parents, especially mothers, it was their first time working mothers. It was their first time to be home with their children. So a lot of these calls came in appreciation of the work that I do. And this is a work that many people have really previously not recognized. So I started thinking about it. And then there is this woman who came into my life. I'm also a publisher and I'm an editor. So she sent me a book so as to enable me do a review of that book. And it turned out the book was an anthology, of widows who had written about their husbands and how their husbands had died. When I read that, I called her. I'm like, Sis Nandi, this is so beautiful. Please make a follow-up of this. And I said to her, this was somewhere in April or May last year. And I said to her, I am thinking of also doing a call on motherhood.
Now, Victorine, please tell us about your focus on the challenges of motherhood.
Mm-hmm. The focus on the challenges that mothers face was very important because right now, I think, like I said in my earlier question, the challenges on mothering have actually drifted in the sense that the lockdown came with different kind of challenges that parents hold. But generally, if you look at mothering and motherhood, motherhood is one word. The challenges are enormous. The challenges go beyond the word itself, beyond its definition and description. The challenges are culturally based, they are value based, they are religious based, they are age based, they are career based, they are language based, they are endless. So many challenges that women are going through. And I feel like it's very important for an anthology like this, not only to highlight the challenges, but to also educate other people, including men and children, of the challenges that mothers endure in order to come out with the baked package that we find as our children who go out there. So we're not only talking about challenges in mothering, we're talking about challenges pre-mothering, post-mothering, and even during the process of mothering itself. And we are talking across borders, across cultures, across religion. You name it.
Kindly tell us how you went about selecting the authors contributing in the book, because there are about 26 of them, including you, 27 authors of this book.
Mm-hmm. The 27 women were selected based on many different things. So the first thing is I just sent out a call and randomly I got so many responses. So we had many criteria that we had put in place. One of them would have to be one of the criteria that we would have to look at in order to qualify your story would have to be whether you have written according to the call. So one of the things in the call was that it has to be a true life story of you or your person. So that person of yours could be your mom, your grandmom, your auntie, your sister, your neighbor, whoever you see as somebody who would represent your story of motherhood honesty. But it has to be a true life story. And then the second criteria was we had a number of words that it has to meet. And the third criteria was you have to choose whether you're writing a story, an article, or a poem. So if Contributions that came in that met this criteria were easy select, but contributions that didn't meet this criteria, if we looked at your story, article or poem and they were interesting, we would then contact you again and say to you, please, can you kindly rewrite this in this manner and then send to us.
Oh, hello there, Deborah. First off, I'm sure Cameroonians want to know if Americans do commemorate Women's Day like we do over here. And also in line with the theme of this year, are there some biases that women in developed countries still go through, especially in the case of America, where you are right now?
No, in the United States, we do not generally celebrate International Women's Day. It's not a national holiday. We do celebrate Women's History Month in March, which is the same month in which International Women's Day occurs. Women's History Month is designed to honor the achievements and the contributions that women have made to all facets of our society. I would love it if we celebrated International Women's Day. I became aware of that first the year I lived in Russia on a Fulbright fellowship. And they celebrated it by bringing flowers and small gifts to all the women in their lives. And I thought it was a wonderful idea. Well, the foundation of International Women's Day is in the labor movement of the early 1900s, when women were marching, striking, and protesting, asking for better pay, better working conditions, and better working hours. In 1911, the first International Women's Day was celebrated, and in 1975, it became an international holiday, according to the United Nations.
Okay, so in the book, you talked about your quest for motherhood. Why was it so important that you share your story?
I love the metaphor of viewing childbirth and motherhood as heroic adventures. When Joseph Campbell wrote about the heroic adventure, he was talking about men going to battle and fighting and death and loss and possibly victory and possibly defeat. But the idea that men go on quests and come back changed. And to me, that is the reality of childbirth and motherhood. Women go on a quest to have a child that either meets with victory or defeat, and then they continue to live with the consequences of those outcomes. Regardless, they are changed by the process.
Hello, Jennifer. I want to know from you why you think motherhood is such a milestone for many women around the world. And also discuss a little bit about childlessness. How does that affect a woman? Because if motherhood is so important, not having a child would be a difficulty for a woman to experience.
Some of why I think motherhood is a milestone is because we are socialized, or many women are socialized from an early age, that this is something that is an actual milestone. And we kind of grow into that idea throughout our lifetime. Now, I kind of wanted to mention is that I don't think that necessarily every woman might see motherhood as a milestone. And so in that case, and I also think that like my own answer about how someone might surmount childlessness may be very different, as can any woman's when it comes to this very heartfelt question. To me, childlessness is completely okay, as with any other time or thing that a person might face. In my view, we have accepted it and moved on and worked through it. Not that we've ignored it. Obviously, there were times that were difficult, but we need to kind of move on and live with the reality of what we have been given.
So Jennifer, you wrote chapter 8. Tell us about your brushes with motherhood and why it was important for you to share your story.
Brushes with Motherhood focuses on a few beautiful moments in my life where I had a brush with what it felt like to be a mother, specifically an expectant mother. I don't know if I feel transformed as a woman, as you might say. I'm grateful for the glimpses into what it felt like to be an expectant mother. That and my prior losses, where I maybe didn't really feel much of what some women might feel when they are pregnant. Writing about that and working through those things helped me feel connected to women worldwide. I feel like I'm kind of in the in-between. I'm not someone that couldn't get pregnant. I'm not someone that, would need to utilize assistance in that. but I'm also not someone that's been able to have a child. So it's a really interesting in-between sort of space to be in. I'm grateful to have really experienced it though. However, I don't know that I feel transformed as a woman. I feel more likely connected to all women that had experienced similar items, whether or not that was pregnancy or pregnancy loss.
Hi, Nozibele. I just want to find out from you. Quick question. Is there a manual for motherhood? Because I'm sure many women want to find that out. So share it with us.
Well, that is a very good question. I wish there was a manual for motherhood, because I can tell you I have definitely needed it lots and lots of times. Each of my kids have had different personalities, and I've just had to adapt to each and every one of them. I think most mothers, actually most parents, wish that there was a manual to help them navigate this whole parenting thing. Motherhood in itself is given so much pressure from society, and then you get children who you now have to adapt to their personality and adapt to the way they are, the young people that they are. And if there was a manual, I would definitely read that manual from beginning till the end, nonstop.
Nozibele, I would like to know what your thoughts are on being a grandparent, because some people believe that it's just another ball game altogether. So share your experience with us and what you wrote in the book concerning that.
Well, the grandparenting journey for me has actually been wonderful. It is a breeze. I know I'm a young grandmama, and I have loved every moment, because with the grandparenting journey, I do not have the added responsibility that you have, or the pressure that we put on ourselves as parents. As a grandmama, I am there to give lots and lots of love. I am there. I sometimes do give a few side eyes, like when my daughter comes around with her little girl, I see her parenting. There are times where I have to bite my tongue, and I'll give her a little bit of a side eye and be like, yeah, you thought this journey was easy. Yeah, she's giving you a bit of a challenge in life, like you gave me. But now I get to just enjoy being the grandmama. We get to give lots of love. We get to play. We don't have to do much of the disciplining, and just reassure them and help guide them in a pressure-free way. Like, I love being the grandmama.
Ladies, you were 27 of you to author this book, but then we're able to chat with 4 of you. I'm going to go back to you, Victorine. I want to find out a little about how the book launch happening today, the 8th of March. How is that going to happen? And what are the things Cameroonians and all of those watching from around the world should know about how to get this book?
The book launch is today, yes. It's taking place at 6 o'clock Cameroonian time, 7 o'clock South African time, and everybody else around the world will have to figure out their own time. Beautiful, beautiful. We've got Professor Deborah Ballard, who flew in from the United States of America, and she's right here in Johannesburg with me. We've got Oluweto, one of the contributors, who came in from Cape Town. We've got Lindiwe, Lee Sizwe, one of the contributors who flew in from the Eastern Cape of South Africa. And right here, right there in Cameroon, we've got a contributor, Manka. Unfortunately, she's not able to be here with us. We've got a contributor in Saudi Arabia. Unfortunately, she's not able to be here with us. We've got other contributors in America. Unfortunately, they could not be here. But we have esteemed guests coming. Men, women, boys, girls, coming to witness the birth of this novel book titled Motherhood Honesty. And for me, the discussions today in the book launch are not going to be about motherhood. They are going to focus on the honesty of motherhood, because the honesty is what we want to educate people on. You can get the book in your country of residence. You can get the book online as from tomorrow, the 9th of March. The copies are going to be available on Amazon. So you just Google the title, Writing About Motherhood Honesty. You would get the copies there. And you can also get the copies in your country. Like I said, you can contact the author that is resident either in your country, or you can contact the publisher, Profounder Intelligence Management Services. They are based in Johannesburg. Or you can as well contact myself, Victorine Mbong Shu. You know, if you Google me, you're going to find my details everywhere. I'm a Cameroonian born South African.
The title of this book is Writing About Motherhood Honesty. And all of you ladies have spoken so honestly about your experience and your knowledge about motherhood. So hopefully we're going to get the book and read all of the other authors, what they have to say on this topic. But from me to you ladies, it's Happy International Women's Day. And right now we'll head back to the studio.